Hey everyone. The investment problem on foundational exam, I think number 2, has been giving people a lot of trouble. So I'm just going to go through it step by step. So this is the kind of problem where it says something like an investment of $1,000 increased by a factor of 2.3. Normally this is going to be some random number, not something nice and even like 1,000, but I'm going to do $1,000 for the example to just help us get our heads around it. So we can imagine, say back in 2018, you bought $1,000 worth of Walmart stock. 5 years later, it grows. It grew by a factor of 2.3. So now you got $2,300, $2,300. When you look at what happened to that money, it wouldn't be correct for you to say, oh, I made $2,300, because, well, you had to invest $1,000 at the start. So the amount you made wasn't actually $2,300, but it was just like this chunk right here. So you only really made $1,300. So starting amount 1,000, final amount 2,300 means you made 1,300. So that 2.3 factor of growth, you can almost like break it up into 2 parts. The first part is just the amount of money you started with, and the second part is the amount that your money grew by. So the challenge of the question is to translate this into English sentences. And the question will give you a bunch of English sentences, some of which are correct translations, some of which aren't. And the challenge is to figure out which is which. So for example, I'm just going to go through some of the correct ones here. The final amount, so that's 2,300 in this case, is 230% of 1,000. You could also say, and it would be just as valid, that the final amount is 130% more than $1,000. And again, that's just going back to the fact that if you invested $1,000, the amount that your investment increased by isn't the whole final amount. It's the final amount minus the chunk that you started with. Sorry, I know the tie-dye shirt doesn't make it easy to see the colors here. You could also kind of flip the order of the sentence and say that $1,000 increased by 130%. And then going to more mathematical ways to say it. So the way you would write this out just as an equation is you'd say 2,300, this is equal to 2.3 times 1,000. I don't think that relationship has given anyone too much trouble, but then the way you kind of break down this equation is what's going to tell you what is and is not the answer to this question. So you might have the final amount is 2.3 times 1,000. What's also going to show up is you could say, well, the final amount is also 1,000 plus 1.3 times 1,000 plus 1,300. And then usually the way this is going to show up on the foundation exam is there's going to be a little 1 in front of the 1,000 here. And then, so a few ways that there might be an incorrect variation of this answer. It might say 2.3. So that's not correct because your investment didn't increase by 2,300. The final amount was 2,300, but that means it only increased by 1,300. Or it might go the other way, where it just says 0.3. That's not correct either. That would be saying you only made $300. And then similarly, you might have like the final amount is 230% more than $1,000, which isn't correct either. That would be saying that you invested $1,000, it grew by 2,300, and the final amount was $3,300, 3,300. All right, that's how you do the investment problem.